So the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 has a new firmware update. So I'm gonna make this quick video to let you know some of those new features they added. A couple of them are actually fixes that I talked about in my last Pocket 3 videos, so that's pretty cool. Let's get to it.
Mr. Black.
First thing on the list is they now have an FPV lock mode, where it basically locks the gimbal forward. That way when you turn it from one side to the next, it's gonna stay with it. And if you put the gimbal on fast speed, you can get a lot more action shots. Or if you're like wandering around in a location and you wanted to like go from one spot to the next with your camera, you don't have to wait forever for the gimbal to catch up. So that's a really cool new feature and something I'm gonna use a lot. Before we get to more of the features, let me just say thanks so much for tuning in. And if you're new here, don't be a stranger to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you click the like button, it lets YouTube know to keep feeding you Pocket 3 videos. And right now I'm actually filming on the Pocket 3, that's why I don't have it in my hand. I also wanted to add something to my last video where we talked about the freewheel filters and the lenses like the anamorphic lens. I kind of glossed over the filters. They have the ND8 here, the ND32, and ND128. And in that same video I complained about how a lot of the filters are really tricky to pry off. These are like the best I've seen. When you pop them on, they are very easy to pry off because they actually have a little bit of a lip that sticks up. So watch, I'll put this on now. You can see a lot more motion blur in the shot, but look at that. I can just take it right off because it has that lip, which is awesome. I'll put links to that and everything else down in the description so you can find it down there nice and easily. Next thing with the firmware update is they added active track support when you're live streaming. So if you live stream from this, you can have active track on, which is really good. One of the members of this channel, the Frugal Wanderer, he did a live stream recently and I tuned in. He's in Cambodia right now just using his data from his phone. And yeah, the Pocket 3 looks amazing. He's just wandering around the streets. So I'll put a link to his live stream if you want to check that out down below. But it looks really good. But now they also added support, so if you connect this thing to your computer with the USB cord, and you have to have a high-speed one, but you can connect it to your computer, and with like OBS or other streaming software, you can stream with 4K resolutions using the Pocket 3, and that is a really big thing for streamers out there that want 4K quality. Another one is with auto power off. They added a never option. That way if you need to leave it on for some reason, it won't auto power off. And then they put the wearable mode a little bit higher up in the menu to easily access it. And if you don't know about wearable mode, it's actually pretty cool. When you enable that mode, after about 5 seconds, the screen turns off. So if you're like wearing it like in a POV situation, you don't need to be seeing the screen anyways. It just makes it a lot more like incognito as you're wearing it, walking around. And it also saves your battery. And when you want to exit that, you just touch the screen, it turns on immediately and you can exit wearable mode. They also optimize the autofocus performance. I mean, I always thought the focus was pretty good, but if they made it better, then I'm for it. But then they also fixed some minor bugs and things like that. And I think one of them is one that I was complaining about before, is the banners that show up, like when you turn your mic on or with the battery handle or any kind of information when the banner comes on, that sits there for so long and you're not sure what you should be doing with it. Now you can actually just swipe it away immediately. So if it pops up, you can just swipe that away. And that was something that I found kind of like annoying with the Pocket 3, and they fixed it. And I love that about DJI, is that they listen to their customer feedback and they fix the problems with firmware updates. So that makes it all the better. So that makes one of my favorite cameras that much better. So love the firmware updates. And if you want to see the last firmware update they did, because they added a really cool feature, check that one out right there. Or if you want to see the last video I did talking about the Pocket 3 6 months later, check that video out right there and I'll see you there.